What is our guest, an hour late now? This is impressive.
I had a similar thing. We were doing the other pod, me and Sam, and the producer goes, the guest just said he's going to be, do you mind if he's an hour late? And I go, that's a full pod.
Right.
Give me an hour late. And I go, he said, do you mind? So I was like, tell him we mind.
Yes.
You asked. And he goes, all right. Okay, he said he can do a half hour late. Is that okay? And I'm like, I guess it's better than an hour, but I'm like, what do you mean is it okay? You're late.
What's a white Negroni? It's got tequila in it?
Oh,
It's
shit.
on time is what it is. All right.
All right, so just a few days ago, Eric André appeared as a guest on Mark Normand and Sam Morril's We Might Be Drunk podcast. And the whole thing was pretty awkward. Like, as you just saw in the opening clip there, Eric André appeared about an hour late to the scheduled meeting time for the podcast. And before he showed up, Mark and Sam had their producer text him that they did in fact mind that he was going to be an hour late. So even before Eric came, the energy felt pretty off. And for the portion of the podcast that Andre missed out on, Mark Normand and Sam Morril were already visibly disappointed with Andre.
What is our guest, an hour late now? This is impressive.
Well, I think he'll have some guilt on the way in, and that'll buy us some
I would
goodwill.
love some guilt, because you know it's bad when you fix the guest a drink and the ice is melting.
Oh.
Not a great sign. I feel like I got stood up on a date here. What do you drink? I'll be there. Will you?
We should do ice cream next time. And when he shows up, that shit's a puddle. You go, hey, we tried to give you ice cream.
But finally, after about 30 minutes of Mark and Sam going back and forth without Eric Andre present for the show, he finally showed up. And it wasn't quite the Eric Andre that Mark Normand was expecting. Like, I think he was anticipating Andre to be the crazy character everyone loved him as on his hit TV show back in the day, The Eric Andre Show. But the Eric Andre they got was like the real-life, chill version of him now, who's in his 40s, doesn't really drink anymore, doesn't even do stand-up comedy anymore, and really just focuses on keeping things like his insomnia under control. And Mark and Sam brought this up to Eric, and might I add, the most awkward way possible.
This is the first drink I've had in a long time.
How the hell did
Really?
you sell that?
You
Eric?
quit
Like a
comedy,
week.
you quit alcohol.
Like a
What are you
week.
still
I didn't
doing?
really drink. I didn't really quit alcohol. I'm just puffs me up, man. I'm trying to fucking
We're trying
fit
to
my
puff
old
you up.
jeans.
Yeah.
No, puffs me up.
Oh, puffs.
No, I'm feeling puffy, dude.
I'm puffed up.
All right, this is the juice
I want to
side
fit, and I want to
coming
fit my
out.
old jeans.
All right. Well, how the hell?
Slide in those old fucking Wranglers.
Well, the sweatpants will help.
No, the sweatpants is because I fucking.
Well, you look
drink.
fine.
I just lost 30 pounds.
Whoa!
Really?
Ozempic?
Manjaro.
So Andre wasn't quite doing the song and dance that Mark Normand was hoping for. And I don't know if you guys heard it in the clip or not, but Mark actually mishears Andre saying that alcohol puffs his face up, thinking that he was saying that it pumps him up. With Mark saying, well, we're trying to pump you up.
Puffs me up, man. I'm trying to fucking
trying
fit
to
my
pump
old
you up.
jeans.
We're trying to my old jeans.
Yeah.
No, puffs me up.
Oh, puffs.
And Mark actually spoke more about his issue with this on the other podcast he does with his underling, Joe List, mentioning his disappointment with Eric Andre's deflated spirit during their show together.
We had him on the pod, the drunk pod. I'm like, Eric Andre, we got broken, what do you call those, breakaway glasses? We were all prepared because we're like, he's a crazy, wild guy. Sam hit me with the breakaway glass. He's like, geez, what are you doing? And I'm like, you're the guy. You're Eric Andre.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, you want a drink? You crazy, wild dude? He's like, oh, I'm off the drink. If I have one sip of alcohol, I can't sleep at night. He's like, I'm off caffeine. I'm like, what are you, crazy? It was like Evel Knievel being in a wheelchair.
Oh, interesting.
It was kind of a bummer.
But even though Eric Andre's crazy side didn't make an appearance on their podcast, I think whatever Mark was doing actually just made it worse, as he seemed to upset Andre with some of the questions in the beginning of his show. Because it seemed as if Mark Normand was just bringing up things Eric Andre was known for from over 10 years ago. And on top of that, he got some of the details of those old events wrong. Like when Mark brought up Eric's old relationships with actress Rosario Dawson and IG model Amber Rose, which Eric seemed not too pleased to be revisiting.
With him and his son.
Hell yeah. He was on time for that one. No one has taken more black people to the promised land. Pat Riley.
I just rewatched that special.
That's great.
That's a great fucking
How the
special.
Knicks doing?
Knicks are, as of today, we're going tonight.
We're going
We're
tonight,
still
baby.
in it. We're still alive, baby.
We're in the nosebleed, but
Do you
we're
want me to
going.
move my shit out of
No.
the frame?
You're
It's too
good.
much.
You're good. What brings you back to the big app?
I never wanted to be in L.A. for so long. It's like the Bermuda Triangle. I kept getting sucked back in.
But you got to bang Rosario Dawson, so I would move out there for that.
That was 10 years ago, and that was here.
Oh, shit.
New York's better, baby.
New York.
What about Amber Rose?
You want to talk about my love life?
Sure. You got a good piece.
Let's fucking
You
put it all out on the
him up
table.
at all. You just went right in.
You went right into my love life?
We go way
Finish
back.
that. Finish that.
You married.
Yeah.
So your
listen to
love
that.
life.
Eric also didn't really like the fact that Mark Norman kept bringing up his old jokes that he used to tell on stage when he was still an active stand-up comedian. Because if you're not caught up with the current Eric Andre in 2025, he actually quit stand-up comedy, with the last time he performed on stage being in 2020. So for him, it's been over for a while now, and it seems like he would have rather spoken about his current endeavors instead, which is more so in television and podcasting. But being that Mark Norman and Sam Morril make their living from stand-up comedy, of course they're still gonna ask him about it, which turned out exactly as you'd expect.
Yeah, what are you working on? You got a pod?
All right, I guess we're out of time. I'm an hour.
Yeah, we'll show your dates.
Yeah. I'm playing at the Chuckle Factory in Coyote Bladder, Mississippi.
That's a good one.
Doing stand-up?
Yeah, that's one of the
Still?
best.
I'm not doing stand-up anymore. I haven't done stand-up since 2020. Like right before COVID. I filmed my Netflix special. I
Oh, yeah.
edited it. February 2020, delivered it, and then COVID hit, and then people were like, "We'll do stand up on Zoom." I was like, "I'm not fucking doing stand up on Zoom."
It was
And then
We're shaking our heads, but we did it.
and
We
then
did.
a lot of it.
I taped a special on Zoom. It was terrible.
for me, I keep it clean. I only do
Me too.
clean material
Yeah.
since the beginning. Never did one dirty joke.
I know your whole act. Baconator, the Anthony Bourdain.
Oh my god, those jokes are from 15 years ago.
Well, you were making
You're in
it.
a fucking fog.
I remember everything.
Do you get mad when people remember the really old shit?
Well, he hasn't written anything
No,
new.
I haven't written anything since. That's all it is.
Oh.
Cheers.
I kind of quit.
Toast.
Oh, these
You
are
show me naked
Eric,
up on
get
the
in there.
thing. You guys are fucking distracting.
We're very distracting.
Cheers. What did you?
So yeah, the show was slightly awkward, but since I am personally trying to beat the reaching allegations, I'm not going to paint this like Eric hates these two guys, or like there's any underlying beef going on here. I think the hosts of the show were slightly annoyed with Eric Andre, his timeliness, and his slouchy vibe, and as professional touring comics would, they made jokes about him being late, which at that point sort of fell flat.
What's a white Negroni? It's got tequila in it.
Oh,
It's
shit.
on time, is what it is. All right.
Hello.
But yeah,
And I think Eric Andre was actually somewhat unimpressed with Mark Norman's interview questions, since they were mostly focused on when he peaked in Hollywood with The Eric Andre Show, which might I remind you premiered in May of 2012, an entire 13 years ago.
how the hell did you sell the Eric Andre show? How do you do that? The show's wacky. You're falling through a table.
Well,
You're
everybody
naked.
passed. Everybody passed except Adult Swim. So it wasn't selling like hotcakes. There wasn't a bidding war.
Yeah.
But Adult Swim they were looking for a talk show at the time because they hadn't had Space Ghost on the air for a while. So
Oh yeah.
So I made like a little demo reel with Hannibal and this like shitty abandoned bodega in Bushwick or Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
Like a rat's nest.
So the entire mixture of attitude, expectation, and timing sort of clashed between the three of these guys, which made for a slightly awkward podcast in some moments of the show. And towards the end, when they finally brought up a current endeavor Eric Andre is focused on right now, which is his podcast, Bombing with Eric Andre, it almost seemed to be brought up in the conversation too late, and Eric was once again sort of defeated at the notion of having the two of them on as guests.
If you agree, stare at me blankly. Thank you.
So good.
He was great. We'll get him
Funny.
on here one day,
Funny.
or if we need a lawyer.
Well, dude, you got
lawyer.
you got the new pod, Eric Andre podcast.
Yeah, you guys got to come on.
I'd love to.
Come on. We shoot up the street.
Well, we had some good bombing stories here.
Yeah,
So that was like a little
I gotta think of a
tease.
better one if I come on. But so you talk about your worst bomb.
Yeah, I just have guests come on and just say, "What's the shittiest show you ever did?" I
Yeah.
guess you don't have to come on anymore.
No. I'm
No, I have others. Trust me.
Okay.
we got a
good.
million.
And more, and potentially more to come.
That's true.
Potentially more to come.
Many.
That's true.
So you just do the cell. The cellar's the only good place to do it.
No, there's other
Comedy
good
club's getting
places.
good.
Yeah, there's good spots.
But by far the most awkward moment of the podcast actually came at the very end, which happened when Mark asked Eric advice for writing a movie. And after about an hour of feeling like a lesser stand-up comedian in comparison to the two of these guys, this was finally a field that Eric undeniably had more experience in than Mark and Sam. Since Eric has been in that very industry for the entirety of his career post The Eric Andre Show. I mean, he's been a voice actor for a slew of huge box office animated movies, and he's even written some comedy movies. So after hearing that these two wanted some advice, Eric Andre simply tells Mark Normand and Sam Morril to educate themselves before taking on such a huge task, to which Normand and Morril seemed sort of defensive about.
Well, any advice for we wrote a movie, and I think we're making some headway on
And we
it.
got a director in the
That's
back
our director
right there. Jonah.
I know it's fucking production hell. You got to just keep pitching it. You got to go to meetings.
What do you mean his story? He just said Netflix bought it immediately.
Oh, yeah, good point.
No, my thing took 8 years. Netflix didn't buy it immediately.
Oh,
That's
never
what I'm
mind.
saying.
no.
All right.
We were in the doldrums for fucking
Yeah.
almost a decade.
We'll figure it out.
What-
Nightmare.
What's the move? Just do it yourself, or?
Well, what's the question?
Well, the
I'll
question
give you
is,
my
We can't do
my
it
advice.
ourselves,
I'm not
'cause
we've
fucking
never
J.J.
sold a
Abrams.
movie. We've never written a movie before, so we're in the dark here.
I think it's a pretty funny
Well,
movie.
It's very
read. Well, educate yourself. Take screenwriting class,
Well, we finished the script.
and that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
read Save the Cat.
Read it.
Robert
Reddit,
McKee,
Reddit.
read all that shit.
Sure.
You gotta educate yourself.
We've-
Find a coach. Find a script writing coach that you trust.
Well, we wrote with two other writers who have experience with it.
Yeah, and then the story.
At the end of the day, though, this podcast was less of a train wreck and more of a missed connection. You had two stand-up purists hoping to vibe with the unhinged shock comedy persona of Eric Andre, and what they got instead was a more grounded, introspective version of the man. And there's nothing inherently wrong with any of that. And with that being said, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. If you made it all this way, make sure to subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.